We are going to jump in here and we are going to talk about galloping towards multi-channel e-commerce. And our guest today is Henrik with Equinavia. And so why don't we just jump in on a couple of things. Before we get to introductions, we're going to start with housekeeping. So this webinar is being recorded. It will be available after we are done today and will be emailed out to all people who signed up to be attendees. It will also be available on the Znode YouTube channel as well. So if you cannot find it via email, please go to YouTube and look at the Znode channel. And the agenda for today is we're going to start with introductions. We are then going to talk about the Equinavia story. We're going to do a little bit of a demo where we actually show the story come to life in the digital world and e-commerce. We're going to wrap up with a Q&A, and then we're going to do a lightning round. So with that, why don't we jump in? Henrik Monfort, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody here and give a little bit of your background?
Sure, thanks for having me. So I'm with Equinavia, the company Equinavia. I start with the mother company, or the former mother company in Norway. That's how I came over to the US in 2012. And we've been on multiple platforms and migrated to a few. And excited to be here to talk about Znode.
Awesome. So Henrik, you are originally from Norway, and I always wonder, are you in Norway or are you in the United States when we're doing this webinar?
Yeah, while this virtual background might be fake, I'm actually in the US, yes, in Watertown, Connecticut.
You are in Connecticut.
Yes.
All right, next question, because I had to change my picture when we were doing this, because you have a nice lifestyle picture. Is that a woods in Norway or is that a woods in Connecticut?
It's actually Connecticut, believe it or not. There's a lot of trees there too, so yeah.
Awesome, great. Well, welcome, Henrik. Thanks for joining us. Everyone, my name is Tom Flierl. I'm the Chief Commercial Officer at Ecommerce, the parent company for both Artify and Znode. We do have another platform called Artify, but today we're going to talk about Znode. So thanks so much for joining us. All right, well, let's jump in. Henrik, you want to tell us a little bit about the story of Equinavia, tell us about the company, and then also tell us about the business model that you have and how e-commerce plays into that business model.
Sure. So Equinavia came to the US in 2007, and right from the get-go, we were a pioneer in industry because what we did in prepare for and did in 2012, we went direct to consumers with web sales. That was unheard of and a big issue for many wholesalers, but we said we had to openly show our catalog. We want to showcase everything we have, and there were just a few dealers that took the whole catalog. So, but that allowed us to show the full brand and all its products, and also we expanded in wholesale. So we grew both the retail and the wholesale channels from 2012 and onward.
And is Equinavia, it is a brand, but you also are a distributor for other products from Europe, correct?
Correct. So we are the sole distributor of a brand called Horse, with Z, Bivergo and Fintech, which is from a mother company, former mother company in Germany, Horse International.
Got it. Okay. So, and go a little bit deeper. So you're doing direct to consumer, you're doing B2B. My understanding of the retail space, pre-orders are a big deal, but how do you manage all of that in an e-commerce world?
All right, so we actually have 4 storefronts in Znode. We have one that's B2C, regular immediate ship orders. Same for B2B. They're very similar, except for a few nuances when it comes to the grid, how you order. And what we have a pre-booking, which I think we should dive deeper into, because that's what's more unique. So in short, pre-booking is that we display what we're going to launch in 6 to 8 months from now. And then we get our dealer to commit to inventory. And once we start to receive the products, it doesn't have to be the whole order, then we ship to dealers what they pre-booked in advance.
Interesting. Because you can't control the inventory all the time, but you have to fulfill on the contracts once it becomes part of your inventory, right?
Exactly. But we reserve what they have, but it could be short ships, but whoever comes first come, first serve basis for that as well.
Got it. So 4 different stores, B2C or direct to consumer, B2B where you have immediate ship, B2B pre-booking, and then B2B pre-booking shipping. Is that right?
Yes, that's a little more advanced. I think it's a little too much for today, but it is actually how we convert that booking into an actual order. So we go from holding inventory to actually take the inventory and create a shipment in our ERP.
Got it. Okay. So tell us a little bit, we're going to get into a demo in a few minutes here, but tell us a little bit before we jump into that demo, but why is Znode?
Yeah, I mean, we did a deep discovery. I don't know, I should mention quick, we were with Salesforce Demand Bear or Commerce Cloud, I think they call these days, they changed name frequently. We were with Vtex for quite a few years, and then we had a discovery again and say, hey, what should we do next? And since B2B is very important to us, we had that as a very hard requirement that we need to fulfill all of our B2B needs, including pre-booking and shipping. And so we went with all of them. I would say all that I could find out there. What we found with most, not to say all, but most, is a very pretty order form, but they do not allow the customer to check out. So they require someone seeing an ERP, taking the order and say, I saw you order this and this, how would you like to pay, how you would like it shipped, and so on. And that was not automation for us. We want to have the possibility for B2B customer as well as B2C to be able to go in and see what we have available and check out and ship it to different locations. And if they have on term, they should be able to use the credit. If they were CCP or a credit card customer, they should be forced to check out with a credit card. So we automated that process. Also that they could go in after, see the status of the order, and so on.
Makes sense. And I would assume also having the product information centrally managed when you're running 4 stores is a big benefit.
That's a big benefit because all stores go from the same source. And if we were to have something with one platform specialized for B2C, one special for B2B, and to merchandise in both and keep it in sync, that will require much more from us. So that was a big benefit for us to be able to do it from one source, one DAM, one PIM, and one catalog. Or well, they're different catalogs, but it's the same source again for the product.
Same, yeah, PIM or same master catalog that everything is
master
stored.
Catalog. Right.
And then I would assume also you must have used the rules engine because you're B2C. I'm guessing you're using MSRP pricing or MAP pricing and promotions. But your B2B, I'm guessing you have different contract rules, correct? Including even payment terms by customer.
Exactly. Also custom pricing. So we have so some customers, they have an additional percentage on top of the regular wholesale, and they're also special terms. So everything is actually incorporated in on the B2B website to reflect their actual terms in their ERP.
Got it. Great. That's a great story. Anything I didn't ask you that you want to talk about on why Znode, and if not, we can jump into the demo.
Yeah, maybe just to mention how we built the pre-book. So we used the native quote feature or app within Znode, and we tweaked it for having like a quote, which to us was a kind of non-binding, no committing kind of order, to say booking. So we changed, we just replaced that name. So whenever you see it from us, you don't see quote, but you see a booking. And then there's of course an agreement behind that booking. That you will take it when it becomes available, and we say when we should have it available and how we ship it to you.
Makes sense. So using the quote functionality, but using it for booking. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
Okay.
Great. Well, I'm going to actually stop sharing.
Okay.
We'll let you take over here. And why don't we jump into a quick demo?
Sure. I can, of the 4 storefronts, I think it makes more sense to look at the pre-book. And we have 2 slides on top, which is one is leading to the actual catalog, another one is to terms. I would just simply show that quick. So all the terms for the pre-booking, and then this is for the catalog. And here again, we utilize everything we have in Znode, especially with the filters. So we before this we used a Google sheet. It's not the same at all. It's not visual at all. So I can then filter here and by brand and category, size, and so on. So that's a great one to do. I mean, let's look at some tall boots. They will load in a second. And then you go into a boot. And then in this case, we only have one size color, different sizes. And then what you're seeing now, you see we book against unlimited inventory. Okay. I can show maybe one with a little more color, saddle pad. So here we have 3 colors with one size, which is kind of the opposite metrics. And then we can put in whatever number we are here, and the total will reflect here in bottom.
Got it. And so this is, again, getting back to your business model, because Equinavia obviously has products for equestrians, right? Riders. However, you sell through independent retailers is my guess. Is that right?
Yes, we are. So most of our retailers or resellers or dealers, there are many terms for the same thing, I guess. Whoever is running a store, they see the benefit of having a commitment to a pre-booking with us. When we drop ship, they don't necessarily do a pre-booking with us. So this is a little different from different stores, but it's very important for us to have this. It's easier for us cash flow wise, as you can imagine, and also for them to know what's coming in, and they know we build these styles on proven bestsellers with existing reviews, existing history, so it's easier for them too.
Got it. And they're obviously ordering in bulk, as we can see by the UX.
Exactly. So I don't know how deep you want me to go here, Tom, but at this moment you see we book against unlimited inventory. At the point we will have to place order with our vendors. At that point, the availability is limited to what we adjusted for the order or any cancellations. So they're that's phase 2 of the pre-booking. And that is actually something you can do all the way up till we cancel these bookings in our system.
And then, however, they're not actually paying immediately, they're paying upon delivery, correct?
Correct. So we can have a look at it to see. Right on in my cart, I have 130 products or items, and you see here that I see a subtotal, and I make clear here that shipping and taxes will be determined upon shipping, because that's hard to say 6 to 8 months out in time, right? So I can hit my pre-booking, but again, I have the same as I would have for a regular website, which is great. I can have multiple. I can have my address book for billing and shipping. And you see here for shipping method, we say to be determined, which is 0 at the moment, because we haven't, and yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice. So question, you mentioned that you were on other platforms, but so how this really wasn't capable prior to this in one platform, was it?
Right. So everything is possible, everything is possible. We just put enough power with development into it, for sure. But what we found with Znode, that we had most out of the box, both for B2C and B2B. So the more we dug into it, the more we were actually surprised. I told you people and say, hey guys, you undersold me, because there were so many things we found that was almost, we just had to tweak it a little bit, and that it could work for us in different ways, not necessarily like a quote became booking.
Right.
So we had to create, in a creative way, use those different native features and combine them to get what we wanted. But they worked out of the box almost in most cases.
Sure. And that's fair, because not one platform was built specifically for Equinavia, but to have the flexibility to adapt it to Equinavia
Right.
versus you adapt to the platform is part of that process when looking at a true B2B or a true multi-channel platform. It's really about flexibility. Yeah.
Also, the headless, that most of what we find in the back end is exposed in the front end, so it's easy to pick it up there and do what we needed to do in the front end for the consumers or the customers.
Yep, makes sense. Well, we have about 5 plus or minus minutes left. So, one of the things I always like to know is what's next? Because digital transformation or e-commerce or a website, these are always journeys. There's never a hard stop in anything in digital.
Right.
I'm sure you have some things that you have going on, but what's next for Equinavia and for your team?
So when it comes to e-commerce, what we are going to do as number one is to build out payment methods. So we already in talks with Amazon Pay, and Znode has been very supportive. So it's a few steps left before we launch with them. Also, maybe we have buy with Prime, so you actually go on a website, but you're actually checking out on your. That's the next there. Also, buy now, pay later is an option we almost have to be competitive.
Mm-hmm.
And for B2B, specifically for B2B, is ACH, because we wanted to incentivize our B2B customers to be able to check out with ACH. And that's something which is a little challenging, but we believe we will be able to find someone that will be able to support us there. Something that is more specific to B2C is the BOGO, buy one, get one free. That means a lot of different things to different, apparently. But to me, to us, it means that you go in a category and you pick one product, you pick another product, and then that one is the one with lower value is then discounted 100%.
Yep.
So that's something we're looking forward to get in place. Gift promotion. So if you have a threshold, you buy for more than, you can add this product. You get prompted to go the select color and size, add it to cart, and check out with 100% discount. So that's another one similar. Also, social login would be nice to have. If that were Google, Facebook, I don't know, but some part that social login would be nice to have, because the young generation, I don't think they even know what an email address is anymore. I do, but I'm old.
Yeah,
so,
and they don't keep passwords either, right?
no, what's a password, right? So yeah.
What about in the
also,
B2B world?
sorry.
Do you guys do any like bulk uploads where you have a CSV file or a spreadsheet and the customer just uploads it?
So even Znode is very nice to shop in. There's some customers that are more, they use their PO system, but for them, it would be easier to just export a list of item numbers and quantities, export to CSV, and then upload in Znode, and they will kind of populate the order. So there's a backend admin or an admin feature I think would be really nice to get in place.
Nice. This is great. This is really great. All right. Well, we're coming up on time. From a housekeeping perspective, we don't have any questions in the Q&A bubble, which means that you're doing a great job. So thank you. But I always like to take a couple minutes for lightning round. All right. And that is just get to know Henrik on a personal level. So you're originally from Norway. You currently are in Connecticut. You have your choice between spending summer in Connecticut or Norway. Where do you want to choose to spend your summer, and what do you do in your summers?
Oh, I do both.
Both? Okay.
Yeah. So when it's really hot in Connecticut, then it's perfectly warm in Norway. And then I come back when in the fall, when it's beautiful, all the leaves and the colors here in New England, it's beautiful. So I get the best of both, I guess.
Nice. And do you go hiking in Norway? What do you do for fun?
Well, I'm more by the sea. I'm like fishing and swimming and that kind of stuff, and the fresh water and so on. So that's more me. I grew up by the sea, so in the southern part of Norway.
Got it. Awesome. And I think that you also have a fairly big family. If I'm not mistaken, you're a dad, correct?
That's correct. I'm very lucky to have 5 boys. So that's really cool. Keep me busy. They are between 5 and 12 years old, so very busy.
5 boys between 5 and 12. Well, I'm sure that you have a full summer ahead of you. So
yeah.
awesome. Yep. Henrik, great job. Thank you so much. For all of you that attended today, thank you for joining us today. Again, we will follow up with a copy of this as a recording, and it will also be available on the Znode YouTube channel. And with that, we are heading into a holiday weekend here in the United States. So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks again for joining us, and we will see you at the next webinar. Thank you.
Thank you.